Peace and blessing, my good man. We coming to you from the Functional Man channel. And me and my good man Neil, we started this channel for two reasons. The first reason, we wanted to start a dialogue between men about men on becoming better men, whether it be father, son, grandfather, whatever. And we also, me and Neil goal is to get to a functioning 100. And what that simply means is still be able to do your daily functions at 100 years old. I want to get to 100 years old. And if you put in your comments what you're doing, and maybe you can help me out, and I'm gonna share some of the things that I did. Because I was weighing like 80. I lost like 80 pounds in the last year or so. So some of the stuff that I did to lose weight and get in better shape. On the channel, we'll be discussing spiritual, mental, and physical health, finances, entrepreneurship, and then what's you say you want to talk about relationships?
Oh, relationships. The relationship between a man and a woman, which is primary, which is the foundation of life itself. So that's one of the elements that we definitely want to delve into, because now we live in a society that we feel like we don't need each other, and we live in a society that it is not the promotion of human well-being or promotion of the family, which is essential to the development of the world. Because remember that the world starts within the nucleus of a man and a woman. From the man and woman goes his family. From the family goes his community. From his community goes his nation. And so the nucleus of all success begins with the man and woman. So for me, that's a topic that I feel like is essential and important.
Okay, so I grew up in Washington D.C. on 11th of Lamont, and my father owned a store called Arthur's Grocery. And I learned everything I know from there, but I don't have a PhD. I just want to start the conversations. But I remember one of my first tastes with manhood. At 12 years old, I was 6 feet tall, and I looked old for my age. And I was in the store working, and I was cutting meat, and this guy came in there, older guy, and he wanted me to cut this meat a particular way, and I didn't do it, so he cussed me out, called me all these suckers and all this stuff. And man, I was scared to death. I was petrified of this guy.
You were 12 years old.
At that time, you'd be scared of the older guy. Now the young jokers, they don't care nobody.
They're going to pull that hammer. That equalizer out. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the guy in the store cussing me out, and my one of my guys that I idolized, his name was Jackie Lawrence. Rest in peace, he's dead now. He came in the store and asked the guy who he was talking to, and he said, "Man, I'm talking to that chump back there." Jack smacked the shit out the dude. As soon as he smacked the dude dropped. He dragged the dude outside, man, started stumping him, and then he came back in the store and smacked the shit out of me. And told me, "Hey, Slim, don't you never, ever in your life let nobody carry you like a bitch." And I started, recognizing that, it's part of being a man, getting respect out of guys.
Man, that's manhood. But I want to add a little something to this. You said you don't have a PhD.
Yeah.
But I beg to differ, because I feel like a guy who gets a PhD from school, his school is theoretical. He read all day, 8 hours a day, but he doesn't apply it in reality.
Yeah.
So for me, your knowledge, your knowledge that you gain from being at the store, from being in a very hostile environment, is way more profitable than any PhD or letters that somebody give you, because it's practical. Man, so I gotta give you that.
Okay.
Yeah. So my man got the real PhD.
I appreciate it.
And let me explain. I didn't come up as an aggressive environment that he came up in. I came up in the same environment of DC. And one of the things that is similar to his story that I encountered for the importance of manhood was through my mom. So when I first moved to the city, I didn't know that kids could be so aggressive. So one of this kid kept bullying me, kept mess with me. And I don't know if I went back and told my mom, but my mother told me something that stayed with me for the rest of my life. So she said, you're going to have to, I can't do nothing. My mom's in a wheelchair. So she said, you have to protect yourself. She said, I don't want you to start anything, but I can't be there for you.
Let me ask you, did you have brothers and sisters?
No.
Just you?
Just me, growing up here. I got brothers and sisters, but my father was similar to my man Bob Marley. Yeah. My father's from Ghana, and so he had kids, but as far as you talking about being raised, I was raised just me and my mom.
Wow. So
my mom gave me some important advice. She said, I can't be there to help you all the time. You're going to have to learn to take care of yourself. So she said, you're going to have to deal with this. And so I went outside. I was scared to death, but I knew it's something that she told me that I knew that I can't allow this to keep happening. And I punched the hell out of him. Even I punched the hell out of him, I kicked him in the stomach. And fear is a powerful weapon.
Yeah.
And I remember he went down, he was crying. And later on that day, which really helped my self-esteem and made me realize the importance of assertiveness and taking care of yourself, is when his mom came and knocked on my door and was telling my mother, your son hit my son in the stomach, and now he can't hold nothing down, he got to drink prune juice.
Ain't that a mean jump? This nigga went from being a bully to shit on his
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And that right there showed me the importance, not to be aggressive, and we can talk about, or be a bully, we can talk about later in our lives, those different circumstances, but it taught me that I have to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And that you might lose some or you might win some, but the primary is to have respect. Yeah. And that's the fundamental aspect of manhood. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So,
you ready to sign off?
We might as well sign off, man.
You started.
Functional 100.
Man, be grateful and always give the Most High the praise.
And we out.